Lately, I've been thinking about why is it so difficult for us to consume less and to buy less stuff? And while I think it's a great way to look inside and to look at our behavior, our self-discipline, there's also the other factor outside, the marketing that we're bombarded with and we can't really do anything about. There's so many different techniques, pricing strategies, other tricks that marketers use to make you buy their stuff that I think it's worth taking a look. Because if you can recognize these techniques, then you're less inclined to fall for them. And hopefully in the future, you won't be tempted to buy stuff you didn't even want to buy to begin with just because a marketer tricked you. Let's now get straight into the video. We'll start with the point I've already mentioned, prices. How often do you see prices that are even whole numbers, like $3 or $15? That's quite unusual because marketers like to turn prices like $5 into $4.99 because our brain will look at the first digit, 4 instead of 5, and automatically will think that the price is much lower. The next trick is showing high prices as installments of payment to make them seem smaller. So for example, a couch that costs $798 sounds very expensive. But if you break it down into monthly payments, let's say 12 months, it's only $66.50 per month, and that sounds very doable. Even though monthly payments can sound very tempting because they're such a small amount, don't let them trick you into buying something that you can't really afford. So if you can't pay upfront the whole price, then just don't get it. Did you know sometimes businesses add choices to their selection of products to trick you into buying a specific one? Let's take the example of popcorn at a movie theater, for example. Let's say they have small, medium, and large, and the prices are $4, $8, and $8.50. In that case, the medium size is just a decoy to make you buy the big one, because then you think it's only 50 cents more, let me get the big one because I'll have much more value out of it. However, if the medium size wasn't there and you only had the choice between $4 or $8.50, $8.50 can seem a little bit excessive. Marketers can also use a similar technique and add a choice that's much more expensive just to make you buy the other ones. So for example, at a restaurant, let's say they have menus and all the menus are around $30. And then there's one menu that's $50. This could make you think, oh, the $30 menu is actually a reasonable price and it's a good deal. But if the $50 menu was not on the list, maybe you would have thought, $30 is a little bit pricey. I had expected prices around $20. So with this pricing technique, marketers can trick you into thinking something is a good deal or cheap if maybe that isn't really the case. Another example, and maybe even a better one to illustrate this point, is let's say you go out and buy something that you've never bought before, like an espresso machine, for example. You see two options right next to each other. One is $200, the other one is $400. In comparison, the $200 one will look like a great deal, and then you go ahead and buy that. But maybe you don't even know what an espresso machine should cost. Don't let them trick you into thinking a price is very good if maybe it's not. The easiest way to not fall for it is do your research beforehand, check out what prices are, and then go ahead and buy something. Let's move on to sales next. I personally believe that discounts are one of the major traps that make us buy more stuff than we initially intended to buy. Did you know that some retailers will automatically put a discount on their products to make them seem less expensive, even though they had never sold that product for the higher price? This is actually illegal in certain countries, like in Germany, for example, or also in Denmark, if I'm not mistaken. Here, the original price has to be a price that they have actually used in the past, but that doesn't go for every country. Additionally, the sales price will be made to look more appealing by changing font and sizes of the numbers. The original price, which is the higher price, will be put in bold and big numbers, while the sales price will be put in smaller numbers and maybe even a different color. This visual distinction will make us think the sales price is so much smaller. Marketers will also think about how they want to advertise a discount to make it look bigger and better. So let's say there's a hairdryer that has cost $50 before and now it's $10 off. So that's 20% off. 20% off, that sounds like a better deal than $10 off, even though they're the same amount. The last point I want to mention for the sales and discount section is buy one, get one free, or buy one, get one 50% off. And these are very tempting and very tricky, I know. But think about it this way, the businesses put the prices in a way that they can offer these discounts. So the full price of one item is high enough to cover the cost for two. And don't get me wrong here, I love sales, I love saving money, And if you actually do need 2 items, it is a pretty good deal to get it 50% off. But if you don't need 2 items and just 1, maybe it would be better to go to a different place that sells the same thing, but not for an unreasonably high price. And then you only have to take 1 home and not have 2 and just clutter up your home. The same goes for the buy one, get one 50% off or X amount off. I remember this one time I bought a shirt from Roxy, and back then it was expensive to me, like $30 for a shirt. That was pretty expensive. Well, anyways, I went to go check out, and then the cashier, he tried to convince me to buy a second one because I would only pay, I think it was like $7 or $8 for the second shirt. It was a pretty good deal for the second shirt, but I looked at all these shirts and I was like, I don't actually really like them. Like, which one of these would I wear the most? Like, which one do I hate the least? And that's a stupid question to ask. Like, if you don't love something, don't buy it. I just knew I would not really wear the second shirt, and I actually decided to not buy the second shirt, which I'm really proud of, but it was very, very difficult decision back then. I remember that very clearly. And the cashier, he really tried to convince me. He said, it doesn't make any sense. You would save so much money if you got that shirt. I was like, well, no, I wouldn't save the money because I'm spending $8 extra on a shirt that I don't want to have. So this little story just as a reminder to not get stuff that you don't really want or don't really need just because marketing makes it sound like you're saving so much money on it. If you don't need it and if you don't love it, then just don't get it, because it's not worth having to store it, having to wash it, maintain it, and put it away. For the things that are on your shopping list and that you really want to have, if you can get a discount, that's wonderful. Next up is a false sense of urgency, and this is a technique I see all the time, especially online. Those are the things like limited offer, the prices will be never this low again, or only 3 seats left on this flight. Or do you know these websites that want to sell you a course or something and then tell you have this very limited offer, but it's only valid if you book with us or if you buy it within the next 15 minutes or 1 hour. I hate these kind of things, and there are numerous times that I have fallen for it because, I mean, who doesn't love a good discount? But, and I'm preaching this to myself, don't let them fool you. This is the marketing technique. If they're giving you this discount now, they will give it to you again in 2 weeks when you come back and you go through the same steps. This is not something that's a special offer. Most of the times it isn't. So don't let this false sense of urgency trick you into making a fast decision and not carefully deciding whether you actually want to have it or not. So I hope this helps, and I hope in the future it will be easier for you to recognize these techniques and not let them rush you into buying something or trick you into thinking something is a good deal if it maybe isn't for you. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know in the comments down below what you think. What are some of the marketing tricks that make it difficult for you to resist, or are there some schemes that you fall into that I haven't mentioned? Have a great rest of your week now, and I will see you in my next video.